From the weather team you can trust, here's Chief Meteorologist Eric Snidel.
Usually by May 1st, you see a little more, spring in the scenery around here. But you've got clouds, you've got light rain showers. It is our reality, and it's going to be our reality, I think, for the foreseeable future here. This lean toward relatively cooler air. That's a much more digestible statement to make when you're in May versus January and February, but it's still a statement that I think is going to prove accurate. We're 43 right now. Average highs this time of year are in the middle 60s, and I think we're going to have a couple of days that probably get close to that into next week before we revert right back into this territory. Frost advisories in effect for the entirety of the area. I've got lows tonight in the lower and middle 30s, and I've got them there because I do think that sky is going to end up clearing out. I think it's going to take some time to do that, but if you're looking to get a view or a shot of the full flower moon tonight, if you are up late, I do think you're going to be granted a chance to be able to see that. And that's only the first of 2 full moons in the same month. Part of that is because May is 31 days long, so when you get a full moon on the first day, it's usually roughly 30-day cycles before you get another one. You ever heard the statement, once in a blue moon, which implies something is rare? That's where it comes from. The second full moon of the same month we call a blue moon. It's not actually blue, just the name that we call it for whatever reason. There's your satellite and radar across the area. Back edge of our light rain shield. Making progress. It's slow, admittedly. In the last hour or two, this has probably only moved about 10 or 15 miles, but it is still progress. Plan on the farther east you are or are going, the rain holding on longer. So just dress accordingly with that, but it doesn't change the fact this overall very weak weather maker is making a distance away from us. So we're going to dry out later on tonight, and obviously if I told you can see the moon, it's not going to be raining to do that. You see how after midnight the cloud cover relents. We go to mostly clear skies, numbers dropping into the lower and middle 30s. Our Saturday is going to be fine. Partly cloudy skies into the afternoon. This is a look that is common where you sprout out a random light rain shower, but it's not even enough for me to put a rain icon on the 8-day. So most of you will end up enjoying the day just fine. You're just going to need a jacket, and you're going to need it again Sunday morning. That's the coldest of the bunch now with high-res modeling. We'll get into the low and maybe middle 50s for highs on Sunday. That's where you could introduce another tiny chance of a few showers. I kept it at 20% on the 8-day. It may lean more toward 30%. Is it a meaningful difference? No, not really, but it's a thing. Future view as we go into next week. Here's the thing that I think is going to be the focus for a lot of people, especially if you're along Lake Ontario here. We've got a frontal boundary that will end up dropping on in by Tuesday. It will rain on Tuesday. I think the bigger forecast ambiguity is how quickly is the front going to make progress through the area. These will have a tendency to stall out when the front is far removed from some of the better flow and the better dynamics. If that happens, we're going to be looking at multiple rounds of locally heavy rainfall. It will pass through, and then in the wake of this, we get more cold air, and we could be right back in frost territory again with scattered showers. The Euro model, for example, spitting out some impressive numbers over the course of the next 7 days. My hope is these are slightly too high, but if it's not, those are going to be troublesome here with overall lake levels, and this is probably going to be a thing that we monitor for the next several weeks, as the overall pattern, Natalie, does not want to deviate from the idea of cooler and more unsettled for a while.